What's all the excitement about?
Just talking about going to Maine this weekend.
Maine. Ooh, Maine. Ooh, the kids will love that. You know what I mean? We'll take the van. I'll pack a lunch. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? The kids are going to be in Washington. I'll tell you what we do.
Tony, it's not we. It's me. And Geoffrey.
Oh, so then maybe I won't go.
Hi. Welcome back to
Ayo. Oe.
the Who's the Boss podcast. I'm Tori.
I'm Kevin.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. It sounds different.
Yeah, we're using brand new microphones.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about these. I'm thinking that you're maybe not going to be able to hear everything else going on in our house anymore.
Yeah, maybe you might miss the helicopters flying over and the cats fighting. And
I don't know that these could even hold. They may still hear the cats.
You think?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out, I'm
All
sure.
right.
But yeah, I don't think you'll be able to hear the rain or the drag racers. So that's exciting.
Or me drinking my beer.
Yes, you do have a beer tonight. Very exciting.
I know. No, I'm saying you won't hear me drinking it.
Right.
With these fancy microphones. I don't know.
If
Maybe
you drink
not.
the beer right in front of the microphone, we're still going to hear that.
I know.
Okay.
But I won't do that.
Okay. We said our names.
Yeah, we did. We
Okay.
covered that
Yeah.
part.
We don't have any news.
No.
So
Again, as
now,
usual.
I think now we do the episode. Okay.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're going to cover season 3, episode 8. The title of this episode is Semi-Private Lives. It first aired on November 25th, 1986. Oh, it's the Thanksgiving episode.
It is?
I don't know.
Who would know?
No, I mean, it's around Thanksgiving. Angela, maybe we'll find some another type of gourd or something in
I'm
this
sorry.
one.
What was the date again?
November 25th, 1986.
Yeah, so this was it. There wasn't like the next one was the
Right,
Thanksgiving.
no. If there had been a Thanksgiving episode, we are going to get a Christmas
there's
episode
not.
this season.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't get a Thanksgiving. Yeah, well, there's only one Thanksgiving episode, and I think it's the one we've already done.
And that's
Thanksgiving
it, at the Rossini's. Yeah. Okay.
Now, the TV Guide summary for this is Angela's romantic weekend in Maine is snowed out, and she returns home to find Tony with a woman from his old neighborhood. These summaries, man.
I know.
Like bare bones, nothing but facts. That's what you're getting in these. So this episode was written by Karen Wengrod and Ken Cinnamon, two of our favorites.
That's right.
One of the married couples on this show. All right, so let's get into it. Now, when this episode opens, Grover is back.
Oh, Grover.
I know.
I'm always happy to see Grover.
Me too. He's so cute.
He is.
And they've got like a little assembly line going where Angela's handing Mona letters. She's putting them in an envelope, a folder, I'm sorry.
Right.
And then Tony's placing them into an envelope. And then Grover's licking the envelope.
What do you think they put all over those envelopes to get
know.
that peanut butter?
Probably, yeah,
Alpo?
I wonder. It would
Alpo.
have like a really thin line of peanut butter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's disgusting. But so they're sending out new letters to drum up new business. So Tony is still very involved in helping Angela get this business off the ground.
Of course he is.
So as that's happening, Sam comes in and she says, I have the best news. Marcy and I are going to be camp counselors. Well, like just counselors on a weekend trip to Washington, D.C.
I know. Very random. And like it's that weekend.
I know. Very right.
It's like we're going away
yeah,
to Washington, D.C. By the way, it's this weekend.
Right.
Thanks.
I know. Did all the other camp counselors like get sick? Did they drop out? But it is just a last minute thing because then Jonathan comes in and says he's going on this trip. So Samantha's excited to go. Tony's excited for her to go. I guess he doesn't have to pay any money. It's through the YMCA, so maybe it's free. And Tony's like, "Oh, I love Washington D.C." And he says he says something to the effect that he had been down there protesting at some point. And Angela seems impressed, like, "Oh, I didn't really see you as somebody who would be like a demonstrator."
Mm-hmm.
But Tony says 50,000 girls and not one bra.
All the wrong reasons.
but
Once
also
again.
very Tony.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jonathan is excited because he will also be going on this trip to Washington. Samantha, not quite as excited because Angela's like, oh, this is great. Sam, you're going to be a counselor, and Jonathan, you'll be on the trip. And Jonathan's like, oh, great. We can sit next to each other on the train. We can eat all of our meals together. And she's like, no, you're going to stay as far away from me as possible. But you can still go.
Okay.
So they go running upstairs, and Tony goes off to the mailbox to send out the letters, and he wants Grover to come with him. So he's like, come on, Grover, why don't you take a walk with me? And Grover's not moving. And then he says, maybe we'll run into that little cockapoo. And then
cute
Grover.
little cockapoo.
Oh, yeah. Grover is very motivated by
Sold.
female dogs. He's already gotten a dog pregnant.
That's true.
Yeah, and then he brought home some poodle one time.
He's much like Tony.
He is. He's the dog version of Tony. So when they walk out, Mona's like, oh, men are such animals. And then she says, thank goodness.
I know. Very Mona.
Now, I don't know if you noticed or not, but behind that table that's behind the couch suddenly is populated with family photos. Never seen a photo before on this table.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. But it explains.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean,
there's a reason.
there is a reason why it's there, but it's just funny that they're like, oh, okay, so we're just going to, we're going to have this picture, a very large picture of Angela and Jonathan hugging.
Oh, there it is.
There are two other smaller framed photos there, but I cannot make out what they are or who they are. So, Sam and Tony did not make a spot. Did not get a spot on the...
Maybe they're the smaller pictures.
Maybe, but you would think that they would maybe have some pictures of all of them hanging up somewhere in their house.
I suppose. You're right.
So now that they're alone, all right, Tony's out with Grover, the kids are upstairs. Angela says she needs to talk to Mona about something, and Mona's like, I'm done working. I gotta go. She says, no, I need to talk to you about something personal and intimate.
Ooh.
And Mona's like, okay, yeah, I'll sit down.
Yeah, she's like, I got time.
So Angela tells her Geoffrey wants to go away this weekend. And she explains that they've been dating a few weeks, right? Or does she say 3 weeks? Something like that.
I think 3 weeks. I think that's what she says.
And she says that he wants to go to Maine for the weekend. And do you know what that means? And Mona says that your skin will finally clear up.
Oh.
So basically, Geoffrey's looking for some sex this weekend. But, okay, so I really like this representation of Angela here. I know that she is naive. I know that she tends to be innocent. But we have seen now her in a few relationships where she's not it's been a few weeks. She likes this guy. Right. They're going to have sex now.
Oh, yeah, it's time.
Yeah. And I like that because I feel like far too many times either it was glossed over on TV about what women were doing when they were dating, or it's this kind of thing where they wouldn't have sex until they were married. Mm-hmm. But so I really like the way that she's been presented here.
Yeah.
It's not like she's bringing home random men and they're never around the children, but she is not shy in relationships when she's in them. So you can tell here already that Mona doesn't care about Geoffrey.
No, either way.
And yeah, she doesn't like him at all. Does anybody like Geoffrey? But so she's kind of... Were you going to say something? Sorry.
No. I agree 100%. So
she is kind of like, what? Do you like the guy? Or what? And Angela's like, yes, I do. I like him. He's ambitious. He's cute. We get along really well. I don't think Mona's so sold on the fact that he's cute, but she's also annoyed at how much probably Geoffrey and Angela are alike. Because Angela says we like all the same books, all the same movies, and we even like the same mineral water.
Mineral water.
It's very important in a relationship.
Right. Mineral water.
To enjoy the same mineral water. But I think Mona's trying to get her to say that she's actually attracted to Geoffrey. But I think Angela is. I mean, I think if Tony wasn't around, she probably would have married this guy because
You think?
I don't know. I mean, she seems to like him. They get along.
Right.
You know, he looks really good on paper. But I think, you know, not to say that she would have necessarily been happy. She probably would have maybe not, you know, been totally happy if they had gotten married. But I could see her marrying somebody like Geoffrey if Tony wasn't around to kind of distract her.
Yeah.
So
distract her.
Well, you know,
No,
I mean,
you're absolutely right. Yep.
she's not really going to be available for other people if she likes Tony at this point.
True.
So Angela's like, okay, great, I'm going to go. And it's like she needed her mother's permission. I don't know.
I think
like,
she was just looking for, you know, some
validation,
yeah,
or
I guess.
was she looking for Mona to be like, no, this guy's a dweeb and don't go. But so she's excited now that she's decided she's going to go. And Tony comes in. He's like, oh, he's back for the mailbox. Where's Grover? I don't know. Grover didn't come home. And
Grover ran away.
and so he's like, oh, what are you so excited about? And
God, that's so true. He just comes back in without
yeah,
Grover.
he comes in and there's no Grover.
Maybe that's
Maybe he
it.
just
Maybe this
ran
is
back.
the last time we see Grover.
Oh, no.
And he ran away.
You think he never came home from the mailbox? All right, we're going to have to see now. He ran off with a cockapoo?
Never came home from the mailbox.
That's so sad. Okay.
Tony just forgot.
I think that he took him around back and then he let him back into Mona's
And then
apartment.
came back around to the front door.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you come into
I know
the
you're
back
poking
door?
holes in my theory here.
Sorry.
All over the place.
All right, let's move along.
Okay, so without Grover, Tony comes in and he's like, oh, what are you talking about? And Angela says, we're thinking about going. We're talking about going to Maine for the weekend. And he's like, oh, that is great. The kids will love it. We'll take the van. Why would you take that
Nobody's
van
getting in
on
that
a
thing.
road trip? We'll
You're not
pack a
getting far.
lunch. And then he remembers, no, the kids aren't here. Okay, never mind. So here's what we're going to do. And Angela's like, no. We're not talking about we're talking about me and Geoffrey. And then Tony's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't go.
Right. I think he says, maybe I won't go.
Right. Like, there's still a possibility I could try to get in on this, but... Okay, so now, cut to, this is when Angela's leaving for the trip. And Tony's doing that thing with the vacuum
I
cleaner
know, that
again.
doesn't work at all.
No. Not enough surface area of the vacuum cleaner is touching the floor.
And Angela doesn't, when she's coming down the stairs, she doesn't seem to care that Tony's treating the vacuum that way.
Right? No, she's probably seen this 100 times before. That's how we vacuums. So she comes downstairs and he's like, oh, look at you. And I gotta say, now this outfit is outrageously 80s.
It is.
But I love it.
I know.
I love
it is.
everything about this outfit. Like
The extra shoulder pads, extra bulkiness.
yeah, and like it has wings. It
Yeah.
looks like one of those. Okay, so I recently saw like a viral video of these guys who were jumping, like base jumping off a mountain, and then they hold their arms out and they actually fly like sugar gliders.
That's what this outfit looks
That's what
like.
this outfit looks like. But I could totally see. Okay, so we got to bring it. We got to tone it down a bit. Like, we're got to lose,
Why?
instead of the turtleneck, I would
Oh.
like a nice kind of open neck, maybe even one shoulder. I still love the wings. Keep those for sure.
Okay.
I like the cinching at the bottom. And then
Okay.
the leggings with the boots. I think this is a fantastic outfit.
Okay.
And I also love that she has the tiniest suitcase ever.
I know. Well,
Angela's going to get it on. Yeah, she doesn't have much in there. Now, Tony thinks that her outfit is pretty cute too. And he says, what does he say? She looks like a snow bunny?
snow bunny. Yeah,
Yeah.
snow bunny are the words
That's super
that he
cute.
uses.
Now the phone rings and he like can't even stop looking at her. He keeps like looking back at
I
her.
know he's all doing that mumbling, Tony mumbling thing. Ew.
Let me see how that outfit looks from the other angle. Now the phone rings and it's the kids and they're on their way to Washington. So they kind of huddle around the phone and they're asking them how it's going. And then there's a pause and then Angela's like, oh, honey, don't be embarrassed. I get sick on the train too. So Jonathan threw up again. And then Tony says, No, Samantha, it'll wash out.
Yeah, so it's confirming that he threw up.
Yeah. And Samantha's probably freaking out. So they're talking to them. They're excited for them to be gone for the weekend and having fun. And Angela says to Jonathan, don't bother Samantha too much. And then Tony says to Sam, look out for Jonathan.
I know. It's actually a nice
It's really cute.
moment. Yeah.
So they hang up the phone. And Angela's like, this is the first weekend that the family is going to be separated. And it's cute that she says family, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
So she, I guess it's been a while since any of them have done anything like without each other on the weekends. She says she's going to miss their Saturday night movies. And he's like, no, you, yeah. What?
Yeah, you won't. You don't never like what I pick.
Right.
What
kind of movies?
Well, I miss the popcorn.
What do you think Tony comes home with?
I don't know. Let's see.
It's 1980.
Rocky. Rocky
yes,
2.
Right.
Rocky 3. I don't
know.
Rambo.
Rambo 2.
Anything with Stallone.
Right, pretty much.
And then maybe mixes in like Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
Or any kind of Pacino.
Right.
Al Pacino / Robert De Niro type movie.
Right. So we're learning now that possibly Tony and Angela may not have the same taste in movies as much as she and Geoffrey do.
And I bet you that Tony doesn't like the same mineral water too.
No. Tony drinks nothing
Tap.
but tap water.
Yeah,
right,
straight out of
exactly.
tap.
He's not going to spend money on water that doesn't come out of the sink.
So true.
Now the doorbell rings and Geoffrey's there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a nice touch that Geoffrey's coat's like wet. I feel like on sitcoms, somebody would come in from the snow, but really still be completely dry. But they actually dripped some kind of water down his shoulders.
They actually like fluff off the fake snow.
Right. But they
usually on sitcoms,
Yeah, and there is fake snow here for sure, like on them.
Right.
But there is also like wetness on his jacket, which I thought was a nice touch for a sitcom. So he tells Angela she looks like an angel. Mm-hmm. But Tony's like, oh, thank you. And you don't look so bad yourself. Geoffrey's such a dork, just like the way he regards Angela with, like, he calls her Angel, and then he's ready to take his beautiful woman on a weekend. And
I know.
He's courting. He's courting hard here. So he tells Angela he has a surprise for her. He even got the sob waxed.
I know. Who's impressed with that?
I don't know. I mean,
it's almost like a D-bag thing to say.
It really is.
Got the sub waxed.
So she's.
I've never in my life told a woman that I've got my car waxed as like a line.
I think when I first started
dating
thought
you, even when I got my car waxed, that a woman would be impressed with the fact that I got my car waxed.
Right. I think when we first started dating, the liner of your car was like falling in.
Yeah, it was.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Maybe we weren't dating yet. Maybe we just knew each other at that point. But I do remember that.
That was the Passat, the Volkswagen Passat. The ceiling started caving in.
Fancy. Okay, so, and you can tell Tony's not impressed with this guy telling Angela that he got the sob waxed. So they're getting ready to leave. Now, Angela's outfit is already fabulous. Then she adds like a purple or a lavender shawl, lavender
mixing it up,
scarf, or what do they call those, mufflers, since it's actually to keep you warm, and
muffler?
mittens.
No, I've never heard of that.
No, we heard about it on this show. Remember when Michael? Okay, so in the episode where Michael comes back, he's wearing a snake around his neck, and Tony was like, your muffler's moving. And so we had to look up muffler because we had never heard of a scarf.
Oh my gosh, right.
Called a muffler.
That's right. That's right. You still remember that. That's very good.
I did. I remembered. I can't remember most things in life, but
I always thought a muffler would be someone's rear end or something. Hey, nice muffler.
I'm sure Tony has used it in that sense too.
I bet he has.
So Angela looking adorable and Geoffrey leave. Now, it must be a little later that evening. Now the sun is down and it's November. So, okay, it could be like early in the day, like it's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So he's now making...
That's a good point.
Yeah, a lot happens this night.
Yeah, you make a good point.
But let's go with that. It's like maybe 5:30 or 6.
Yeah, okay.
And so Mona comes in and Tony's making popcorn. And she's like, oh, yeah, what are you doing? Don't you have any plans for this weekend? And he's like, oh, yeah, I got lots of plans. And so he dumps the pot of popcorn that he made onto the stove into...
That's plenty for one person in the pot.
For like 4 people.
But then the bowl comes and it's...
Yes, he dumps
for 20 people.
Like, where do you even get a glass bowl that big? It's almost the size of the kitchen table.
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
So he
Apparently
dumps it
Tony's
into
eating
there.
popcorn all weekend.
All night, yeah. That's all he's eating for the entire weekend. So Mona's like, oh, I mean, I don't know how to tell you this, Tony, but this is kind of sad. There are guys on death row that have a better social life than you do. So... the two of us, as we were watching this episode, we were both like, oh my gosh, to be able to stay home in your house for the weekend. I was
getting excited for Tony.
Right.
Everybody's gone. The kids are gone.
Yeah. Just sit home in complete silence, Tony.
Yeah.
But
eat all the popcorn. That's every meal.
So, I think kind of what's happened here is Tony's gotten pretty comfortable. Like, he has this little family... and then they're gone for the weekend, and he's not really thinking about going out because, like he and Angela aren't like, I don't think we've seen Tony go on a date or be with a woman since the episode where he was going to have sex with the Genevieve and Angela screwed it all up. So I kind of feel like he's in this sort of mode where he kind of likes her. So he's not really thinking about other women. And then most of the time they have this nice little family. He has pretty much everything except sex.
Yeah,
and
true.
Actual romance. So I think he's gotten a little comfortable. So he's like, you know what? Let me tell you something, Mona. And he goes over and he pulls a book out of a drawer in the kitchen. And it's his little black book, but it's red because it's so hot. And he pretends like it's on fire. Right, red hot. Now, I love that he has his little black book in the kitchen.
Well, I think we discussed this. That's his office.
It is, right? It's his office.
He probably has his own drawer in the kitchen.
That's
only Tony's stuff.
No one's supposed to touch it. So Mona leans over and she blows on this book and there's dust on it. So it's been a while since Tony's has gone out with anyone. So now he's sitting at the kitchen table and he's calling women to try to see if anyone want to go on a date with him that night.
Right, in front of his oversized bowl of popcorn.
And if you watch the popcorn, it goes down. So it's taking him a while and impressive. He's eating the popcorn. So like one lady he calls, she's married now. One lady she's engaged. Then another lady is married. Another lady is actually actively in labor right now. And then finally he gets someone who's divorced. So he's like, oh, great. Okay, then it's a date. So he's so excited and relieved that he was actually able to
find a date.
And he calls her.
It'd be that hard for Tony to find a date.
Yeah, I guess he's just at it. He should have just gone down to the grocery store because he's always had very good luck there.
True.
Pretty much anywhere in Connecticut, too. So he calls her Tanya Stromboli?
Yeah, Tanya Stromboli.
My little cannoli.
Oh my gosh.
Now, this is another instance where, but the credits on the show and what he calls her lines up. When the credits roll, it says Tanya Stromboli, and he calls her that. But on IMDb, the actress is named Tanya Stromball.
Ah.
So that just has to be a mistake on IMDb. Okay, so now Tanya has come from Brooklyn to Connecticut. So what do you think that took? 45 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
okay. That. And he's changed, and he's made like some hot cocoa or something and set it out. And the doorbell rings, and here's Tanya. Now, guess we find out that these two knew each other in high school. So he hasn't seen this woman in a very long time. Like, this is such a booty call.
It really is. That's all it is.
Right. Like, he knows that this lady's going to want to have sex tonight. And so he just called her up and now here she is. So yeah, so they're talking about how long it's been a long time. And then if you notice here, like after she takes off her jacket and he's like, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time.
Right.
Is Tony talking just about Tanya or just the fact that it's been a long time since he's had sex?
It's been a long time since he's had sex.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's what I got. It seems like it's been a long, long time.
Yeah. Okay, so now, like, he sits her down at the couch and they're talking a little bit about old times. Apparently, Tony and Tanya used to stand for TNT.
Yeah, that's right.
And he knows, and she used to love hot chocolate, and he remembers how she liked whipped cream. I have a feeling that the hot chocolate the whipped cream wasn't on the hot chocolate, though.
No,
normally.
Not at all.
So they're sipping hot chocolate. He gets a little on his face, and she's like, here, let me get that for you. And they start making out. As they're like falling onto the couch, guess what Tony sees? The brand new photo of Angela and Jonathan that's been placed there for this episode. So he looks up.
Just for this episode.
And there's Angela's face staring back at him. So he kind of turns Tanya around so that they're facing the other way and goes back to kissing her, but it's still not working. He knows the picture's staring at him. So he just takes it and he throws it down onto the table. But he's like still very distracted in the house. So he's like, oh, you know what I feel like doing? And she's like, yes. And let's go. And he's like, no, let's go on a sled. And then she thinks that he wants to have sex on the sled.
I know. She's like, won't we fall off?
Right. And he's like, no, actually go sledding. It'll be just like Perry Como Christmas special. Sorry. So I looked up Perry Como because I vaguely remember hearing that name as a kid. I guess kind of similar to like hearing Bob Hope's name as a kid.
Right.
And yeah, he was a singer. And I remember that he lived in Florida because one time we were out on a boat, I think, near Jupiter. And I remember my dad pointing out which house was supposed to be Perry Como's. And I didn't care because I was 7. Right. And I didn't know who Perry Como was.
Like, did you even give a shit?
No, not at all. Okay, so Tanya and Tony go out and they go sledding. And apparently, somewhere in the neighborhood is a little hill that you can sled on.
Yes.
Who knew?
There's a mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right there in the neighborhood.
Now, at the same, or a little while later, Geoffrey and Angela come back into the house. They have gotten lost. What's funny is like, oops, I knocked something over. This is a time before Waze. Like when I first saw this, true. I'm like, how did they not find their way? But I mean, I am horrible with direction. And honestly, if I didn't have Waze, I would never find my way anywhere. But I didn't really think that at this point you would just like not know where you were going and then just go back home.
And you look at the directions and you went.
Yeah, you looked at the map. But like, why didn't they stop and ask someone? They're just back home now. So yes. So the two of them, and they say like, we're two intelligent people and we couldn't find our way to Maine.
I know.
And they realize like, oh, they're kind of bickering here. And Angela's like, do you realize that we've just had our first fight? So they like say they're sorry to each other and make up. And Angela's like, let me go see if Tony's here. And then, if you notice, Geoffrey says, yes, the walk needs to be shoveled. The walk does need shoveling.
Yeah, right.
So, like, he's hoping Tony's there so that Tony can just get out and start shoveling the walk. Meanwhile, it's like Saturday at, I don't know, 7:30?
Yeah.
You're on your own, buddy.
Your own walk.
Yeah. So she thinks that Tony has already left for Brooklyn. Because earlier, before he went in and made himself 14 pounds of popcorn, he had said to Angela that he may go into Brooklyn for the weekend. So they think they're alone. They start making out. The this kiss here is like not a very sitcom-y kiss too, I noticed. Like these two actors must have been pretty comfortable with each other because she and, what is his name? Oh, Robin Thomas. We've already talked about him, right?
Yeah.
The guy who played Geoffrey. It seems like they're really kissing. Anyway, as they're kissing, Tony comes in with Tanya and he's like holding her in his arms. And all four of them see each other, and Tony says, "This never happened on the Perry Como Christmas special."
Yeah, I know. Still with the Perry Como show.
So Angela's like, "Oh, Tony, I don't think I know the friend that you're holding in your arms." And so he introduces them to Tanya, and he's like, "What are you guys doing back here?" And they explain that they got lost on their way to Maine, but it was no one's fault.
Yeah,
they don't want to start fighting again. So yeah, he introduces Angela to Tanya, and Tanya also says, "Oh, hi, Jeff," after Geoffrey introduces himself, and then he says Geoffrey with a G.
Yep, of course.
And Angela makes a comment that Tanya's snowballs are melting because she's holding two snowballs in her hand. Tony's like, "I guess we're not going to need these anymore." And he goes to throw them outside the front door and nails Mona in the face with them.
I know. She's like, "What's up?"
So, like, why is Mona even here? So she comes in. And,
I have no idea.
She says that she got stuck, and then like somebody came, a snowplow driver came and helped her, and now she's going to go out with the snowplow driver.
Yeah, exactly. Of course.
So she changes her
Perry
hat,
Mona.
and then she leaves again. But I guess at some point the snowplow driver also dumped a bunch of snow onto Geoffrey's newly waxed Saab.
Yes, so it was newly waxed.
Yes, so he's upset about that. And we're going to find out that there's another episode with Geoffrey in his car. So this is like a Geoffrey thing that he's very into his car.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it's a different car too. He must have many cars.
All right. Well, he is rich.
So Mona leaves after that awkward interlude, and the couples are just kind of staring at each other again. And they're like, okay, what are we going to do here? So Tony's like, "I'm going to go make some hot chocolate." Angela says she's going to go help him. And Geoffrey's like, "Doesn't he know how to make hot chocolate on his own?" And she says no. And then Tanya's all asking if there's going to be whipped cream on hers. And Tony's like trying to hush her up.
Yeah, of course.
Not anymore. So in the kitchen, Tony's making hot chocolate, and Angela's like, "What are we going to do here?" And he says, "Well, I'll mix. I'll pour and you mix," or something like that. She's like, "No, I mean for the evening. Like, we cannot all be here together at the same time." She says, "We're all a little too old to double date except for Tanya."
Yeah, exactly.
So here's what I want to say something about this. Like, I feel like we've gotten away from this now a little bit in television writing, but the formula was always, if there is some sort of love triangle, one person is made out to be bad. The person that you don't want them to be with is made out to be bad. And then Angela's really petty here. Like, she's commenting on Tanya's age and like how smart she is and stuff. And I feel like we've kind of gotten away from that now. And I was even listening to Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey have a podcast called Office Ladies, where they break down every episode of The Office. And when they got to the Rashida Jones episodes, which is Karen, who Jim is with for a while, you know, they were saying like, there's nothing wrong with Karen, and you like her, and you want to like her. The only thing that's wrong with her is that she is not Pam. So, like, you don't want her with Jim, but you also don't want to, like, hate her, because there's really no reason to hate on her, because she's a perfectly fine person. So, I feel like we've kind of gotten away from that a bit more now. But in the 80s, it seemed like that was a very easy storyline to go with, which is just, like, you know, make you really not like the person that they're with, because you don't want them to be with that person. So Angela makes a comment here about how Tanya seems young enough for a double date. And Tony explains, you know, we went to high school together. So even if she is younger than him, she's like, I don't know, 4 years younger?
Yeah.
But I looked up the actress. So the actress's name is Sydney Walsh. And she actually is about 8 years younger than Tony Danza and about 10 years younger than Judith Light.
Oh, wow. There you go.
She was born in 1961. And she hasn't acted since 2016, it says here. She was on Young and the Restless for a while in 2010. There was nothing else I really... Like, if I look at her face now, she looks really recognizable, but I don't know from where. But she is beautiful. Very pretty. So... then Tony says that they went to high school together, and then she went to beauty school, and Angela makes another kind of mean joke. Oh, she's a scholar. But it's like you're saying that in front of Tony, who is also, didn't go to college. So you're just being mean for no reason. So Tony says, well, at least she's fun. And Angela's like, do you mean that Geoffrey's not fun? And Tony's like, well, his idea of a joke is putting dimes in his penny loafers.
Which no one's going to get that reference.
I know. No one's going to get that. I mean, our kids, if kids are wearing penny loafers these days, our kids are not old enough.
Oh, no. God, no.
But I absolutely remember wearing penny loafers and putting the penny in them.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So Tony's like, okay, well, we're out of here. We're going to go to Brooklyn then. So he and Tanya leave, and they leave Geoffrey and Angela alone at the house. And then, as they're leaving, though, they do kind of make Tanya not like very nice of a person, because she hands Angela a business card and says, let me know if you ever want to do anything with that hair.
No. Insinuating that it's bad.
Yes, I guess so. Insinuating that as right now, she doesn't do anything with that hair.
Right. You're in trouble.
And she's still holding the business card when she and Geoffrey start kissing again. But she can't get into it because she looks over and there's the vacuum cleaner and his like little mop kit.
That's right.
Like a little feather duster and some stuff. So Geoffrey's worried that his breath's bad. And he's like breathing into his
Meanwhile.
hand. And Judith does another really cute thing with this actor here where she touches his nose, like she must have gotten makeup on him or whatever. It's cute how she's really playing this like she and Geoffrey are very comfortable with each other. So she's like, it's just very hard to relax in the privacy of your own home. So Geoffrey's like, I don't really understand that, but I want you relaxed. So
exactly.
Let's go somewhere else. So I guess they don't explain, where does Geoffrey live? Like, why don't they just go to his house?
Yeah, true.
I don't know if we maybe find that out in another episode or not, so we'll have to see. Okay, so they decide they're going to go to the Fairfield Inn. They get to the Fairfield Inn. They immediately go out on the very snowy balcony, I guess, to look at the view.
I never understood that. In snow scenes, when there's like a balcony, people just immediately go out to it.
Yeah, I guess maybe you just want to go out and look at the snow.
Fresh air.
Right. So, they're kind of cozying up on the balcony. He's holding her close because he's really cold. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go in and I'll start making a fire. So they both go back in. And then we see the balcony of the room next door. And the French door is open and Tony comes out and Tanya. They also wanted to go out on the snowy balcony. So
of course they did.
They didn't make it to Brooklyn because the roads were too snowy. So they decided to go to the Fairfield Inn. And we know that this isn't the first time Tony's gone to the Fairfield Inn for some sex. Do you remember?
No.
It was Sorority Sister. So it was the episode where Angela's friend came to visit for the school reunion.
Oh, yes.
And then Tony takes her out for the day, and then when they get back, you find out that they went to the Fairfield Inn.
Oh, that's right. A Fairfield. I knew that Fairfield Inn sounded familiar.
Yeah.
And it was infamous for something.
So Tony's telling Tanya that they got a housekeeper discount, so they have to clean their own room, and she's not getting any mints on the pillow.
I know. Don't expect any mints on the pillow.
But that's pretty gross that the Fairfield Inn is still gonna take that as somebody. I mean, Tony's gonna do a good job, but they don't.
Right, but why would they let somebody clean the room?
Right.
You don't know the next person that comes in. Anyway.
So while they're out there, he hears what sounds like Angela's laugh, and he says to Tanya, "Did you hear that?"
Right.
And he says it sounded like Angela, and she's like, maybe it was a coyote.
What?
So she coaxes him back into the room by making a fire. Mm-hmm. Now we go back to the other balcony where Angela and Geoffrey come out because smoke is just billowing into their room.
I know.
So,
there's a problem. They got problems.
Yes. It appears that Geoffrey forgot to open the flue of the fireplace. So he goes back in to fix that. She's out there still trying to like get some fresh air. Tony comes out on his balcony side. She hears something going on, but she doesn't see anyone. Then he hears a woman coughing. He looks, but she's bent down, so he doesn't see her.
Right.
He goes back inside the room, and then Geoffrey comes back out on their side. So we've got this little dance that they're doing.
Wackiness.
Yes, wackiness, sitcom dance that we're doing where they don't see each other. So Geoffrey comes out with 2 wine glasses or champagne glasses. They start to toast, and she hears Tony do his Madonna mi. And
what? I lost it on that part. Like, what's happening? Like, what is she
like,
doing
to
get him to yell out Italian words?
Is he trying to start the fire? She's grabbing his butt.
I don't know.
What is happening in there?
I have no idea. Maybe it's instantly on. I don't know.
But it's not because he comes back outside.
That's true. Mamma mia.
Did she take something off? Like, I
have no idea.
So Angela's like, did you hear that? It sounded like Italian. Do you think it could be Tony? And Geoffrey's like, no. I mean, Tony's in Brooklyn. Maybe somebody just ordered pizza.
Somebody just, what does it mean? So they're yelling out Italian phrases?
Yes,
they just ordered pizza.
Yeah, no, because it's maybe he's saying like it's the pizza delivery guy.
I meant right.
Yeah, that's just how your pizza arrives with.
Hey, $14.
So now Geoffrey is like, what is it exactly with you and this housekeeper? So he's just now kind of starting to get an inkling here. And
something's going on.
Yeah, and like, so this is weird. You've brought your girlfriend of 3 weeks up to a room now to have sex for the first time.
It should be on already. Like, what is happening? Why do they keep coming out to the patio?
But also, like, if on this night you're already like a little wondering why she's so concerned with her housekeeper, you might think that this isn't going to go well.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's a better point.
You know, she says nothing. He's my housekeeper. And he's like, and what a fine job he does. And then Angela goes on saying, you know, he really is marvelous and he's so wonderful with Jonathan. And Geoffrey's just kind of staring off and she's like, and you don't care about this at all, do you? And he says, not at all. But here's funny. So I use YouTube to grab the closed captioning for me. So it's not always right, but it at least works enough so that I get all of the script. And right here it says, you really don't care, dude.
No, not
at all.
That's
she
funny.
She said, do you? Like Angela's
Dude.
just like, you really don't care, dude. So they start kissing again. And he says, it's time to freshen up. Do you want to use the bathroom first? And she's like, no.
That means
he's
taking her to Pound Town. It's time to freshen up.
No. You're going to make Chrissy cry laugh in her car again. So, okay, but yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like this is a little bit realistic for a sitcom here because normally people just get it on. Nobody ever deals with the fact that like
need to freshen up.
Right.
Like
Everyone's
a long car. We've been around the car a lot today.
It's time to brush our teeth.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
Maybe even hop in the shower if it's been a long day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's think like married people.
I know.
So
it's just like in every TV show and movie when people just wake up and start kissing. Come on, enough.
I know.
Jesus,
no.
no
Nobody
one's kissing
wants
in
that.
the morning.
Right.
With bad breath.
Okay, so then he's going to go in the bathroom first and his little nature girl is going to stay out in the freezing
right, because
cold
everybody,
for a little
the patio's the place to be when it's, 20 below and it's snowing.
And then I like that Geoffrey just starts pounding on his chest. Like, it's been a long time since Tony's had sex. How long do you think it's been since Geoffrey had sex?
I don't know, years.
That's what I'm thinking here. Okay, so now
He's very excited.
Tony comes back out to grab more firewood. Apparently, this fireplace...
It's blazing.
It needs like 16 logs of wood because that's how much he's carried in so far. And at this point, they do see each other. So they're like, you? And they go over to where the balconies meet.
What are the chances?
Right.
That they're both at the Fairfield Inn in a room
next to each other. I know. So he's asking, like, what are you doing here? And she's like, the house, I just couldn't. And he says, I had the same problem. Like, I wasn't able to in the house either. So they're asking like how they like the room. The room's great. It's got nice towels, nice balcony. So yeah, and they're just like, thinking this is really kind of funny that we would end up at the same hotel,
right?
Like at the same
time.
And Tony's like, with Geoffrey and Tanya. So now Angela says, like Tanya is a very nice girl and, enjoy your evening. And he says the same thing, that he's happy that things are going so well with Geoffrey. You know what?
What?
I'm going to go off on a tangent here.
Okay.
But, okay. So, the part in When Harry Met Sally when she's talking about Sheldon? They go to the diner at the very beginning, and he says, you've never had great sex before. And she's like, yes, I have. And he says, with who? And she says, Sheldon. Mm-hmm. This scene always reminds me of that because I just picture Tony being like, there's no way that you have great sex with Geoffrey.
Yeah.
What does he say? When you need a tooth pulled, Sheldon's your man, but humping and pumping is never Sheldon's strong point. Poor Geoffrey.
I know.
But I just totally picture Geoffrey as Sheldon in here.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
Right. And so, like now, okay, so they say goodnight to each other and they go inside. And now, like, Tony's probably going to really enjoy his evening, but it's Angela that he emotionally wants to be with. And I feel like Angela may or may not enjoy this evening.
Right,
But she's probably thinking like, Tanya's really enjoying that evening. And
that's a good point. Tony's still going to have fun no matter what.
Right. He's still going to have a great time. Even though emotionally, Angela is who he wants to be with.
Right, of course.
Angela probably also wants to be with Tony. Well, we know she does at this point.
Yeah, of course.
And she knows that Tanya's probably going to have a better time than she is.
That's true.
So Geoffrey should have just gone home already.
And it's only going
to get worse for him. Like I don't know how far we are from the Christmas episode, but the fact that Geoffrey just didn't go home after the Christmas episode shows that he's not very smart.
Yeah. Okay,
so the tag of the episode, it must be the next day. Yeah, it's the next day. So this must be Sunday. The kids are coming home. Angela's hanging out on the couch, and the kids come in from Washington. Yeah. So Samantha and Jonathan are fighting. She's like, never talk to me again. And they're like, oh no, did you get sick on her again? And he's like, no, but he followed me around everywhere. And the only privacy I had was when I was in my room. And Jonathan says, I was in the next room. And then he says to Tony, did you know that if you put a glass up to the wall, you can hear everything that's going on in the next room? And Tony's like, oh, yeah, I did know that. And then he looks at Angela, and Angela looks at him. And
that's the episode.
And that is the episode.
I mean, what is that jacket that Samantha's wearing?
I don't know. And this is not the first time we've seen it.
Like a Thomas the Train.
I know. I really wish that I could see what the...
I can't either.
She was also wearing this jacket in the episode with the report card.
Oh,
and that's when I noticed it first. Okay. But yeah,
you probably said something too.
I cannot make it out. It looks like there's maybe a motorcycle on it.
I don't know. It's like
it does look like it's cartoons, but it must have been something. I mean, anything Samantha wore at this point, I wanted, so it had to have been cool.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
But I mean, at the time, now looking back at this, is it the Stay Puft Marshmallow guy? Like, I can't even tell.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that
Sorry,
is...
I didn't mean to derail the ending.
No, that's the episode. But do you think Tony really had a glass up to the door? Because in a wall, that's just creepy.
Yeah.
And plus, if you really like someone, you don't want to hear that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, you're probably right.
it's awful. Okay.
Maybe the Stromboli was asleep. What's her name? Tanya Stromboli.
Tanya Stromboli is little cannoli.
She was asleep already. Maybe
You think Geoffrey went longer than Tony?
No, I don't know. Maybe things didn't get started as fast. I don't know. Geoffrey probably bumbled around. He's probably in the bathroom a while.
That's true.
Pulling hairs and plucking things. I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
Anyway.
Okay, I think you do rating first this time.
I do?
I think so.
All right. I will give this a 7.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I still think it had its moments, and
mine's higher.
It wasn't. Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you were saying, wow, that you didn't think that was. Yeah, it was fine. It was funny. It had its moments. It did advance the story a little bit more.
Yeah.
It advanced the Tony and Angela aspect of it, which was good, I thought. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
It was a 7.
You know what we forgot to talk about?
What?
Which I just remembered because I have it up on my screen.
What?
Is when he's getting ready to answer the door for Tanya, he's singing Something's
Oh, that's right.
Coming.
We forgot to address that.
From West Side Story, and we even looked it up beforehand.
And we looked it up beforehand.
Yeah.
Because I always worry because I'm pretty sure that what is it? Wait a moment.
Wait a Moment.
Wait a
yeah.
moment is not a real song, and he sung it several times.
Right, but
Wait a moment.
We did look up the lyrics.
But then he's singing right before Tanya comes. He's singing a whole thing. I told you, I'm like, that's got to be a real song because it has more lyrics than just wait a moment.
Right. And it is. It's a portion. He changed it a little bit, but he's singing Something's Coming from West Side Story.
Okay. Yeah, I bet.
Oh, okay. So I gave this episode an 8.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's good.
And I think mostly because I do feel like it does advance the story. We really get the idea that like he's not really dating that much anymore. They really have forged this little family, and it probably feels really like a family, and until Geoffrey has kind of stepped in here and now and is messing things up a bit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it was funny, and I feel like it didn't have any parts that like kind of, well, except for the weird part where Mona comes in for no reason, but
I know.
but it's Mona, so we let it slide because
that's true. She's
often just sort of there for the comedic factor. But yeah, I just kind of thought everything tied together nicely, and I enjoyed it. And it's one of those I also remember as a kid because it's also just like so awkward and weird. And you get way more of it as an adult than I probably did as a kid.
As a kid, you just like, they're all going to sleep.
Right.
But like as an adult, you understand what the hell's going on.
All right.
Who's the boss around here? Me? Or my mother? Or maybe it's you!
I don't know that there is a boss in this episode.
Okay, thank God.
Like I could go with Mona only because she's the one that gets Tony to stop eating popcorn and go for the booty call, but I mean,
I know. She's also the one who convinces Angela to go in
okay.
But not indirectly, but
yeah.
She's like, do you want me to say?
Okay, wait, hang on. Mona was the boss of sex in this episode then.
Boss of sex? Jesus.
Yes, because she...
The hell is that?
Because you're right. She went and told Angela...
The boss of sex.
Go away for the weekend
and
get it on, I think is what she said, if you want to.
Okay.
And then she got Tony to do the same thing. You're absolutely right, Mona.
Get your
is the
book
boss.
out.
I'm sorry. You don't even need to go now.
Thank God, because I was going to go with the vacuum cleaner. So I'm so glad that you...
Because I had totally forgotten that Mona also tells Angela to go. So you're right.
Yeah, okay. Yes. That's right. I'm right.
Yes. Very good. Yeah. Or it's whoever waxed Geoffrey's sob. It's
right.
between Mona and that guy.
I mean, seriously,
Or
there's
woman.
not a boss. This is...
Yeah, they're really...
There's been some questionable ones in the past, but there's always like a kind of a definitive boss. But this one, they're really... I was struggling with it.
Yeah, I was too. Okay, well,
right,
we'll
fine.
go with Mona.
Fine.
Mona's the boss of sex in this episode. Well, Mona's the boss of sex in every episode, but
Right.
even more so this one. Okay, you can reach us at Who's the Boss Podcast on Instagram or Who's the Boss Pod 1 on Twitter. On Facebook, we have a page, the Who's the Boss Podcast page, or go to anchor.fm/WTB podcast. And there you can leave us a voice message that we will play. It's not like
That's right.
It's not like we might play it.
No.
We absolutely will play it.
Yes, we will.
Because we don't get any.
That's right.
Okay, now next episode, we're going to cover Forgive Me, Tony. And I just have to say, I don't like this episode.
Oh, the 6.0 for you.
Let's watch it again because
Okay.
maybe I'm gonna feel differently. This is one I never rewatch, but it does have the guy from Murphy Brown as a
That's
guest
right.
star. What's
Yep.
his name? Lyle Talbot.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think that's what it is.
But I saw a second of the episode and saw him in it, and I was like, oh, yeah, look at that.
So, all right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, that's right.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like this podcast, please subscribe and tell all your friends and give you a big pat on the back. Bye. I added some extra.